getting it, fellas. Look here.
Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Jar Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, the Wolverine, along with my faithful super companions. Head in a jar he go.
What's up?
And C-Lab forever.
I wish that I had thought about
Just say hello,
dressing up
Chad.
like Gene Simmons
Say
in
hello.
this and said hello.
Just say hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, folks. This week we're tackling the 1986
Not a classic.
classic.
Never will be a
not
classic.
even close. Not going to be a classic, but it is going to it was a good time, though. I'll tell you what. Never Too Young to Die, starring John Stamos and Vanity, with special guest appearance by George Lazenby. Let's dive into this pool of muck.
Glory.
High level.
By legendary director Gil Bettman and the Oscar award-winning writers Stephen Paul and Anthony Fouts.
Okay, so this guy directed so much Knight Rider, Fall Guy, like awesome TV.
Well, that makes
I don't
sense.
understand how this. Yes, but I don't understand how this movie turned out so terrible.
Well, this
dude.
movie had like a shitty TV vibe.
Definitely, it had like a worse than shitty TV vibe.
Yeah. Benny, how did this one come up? Did this one get recommended? Or how did it come up? I don't remember.
2 words. Nick Marv.
Ah, that motherfucker.
Oh my fucking god! Okay,
This is his payback for us
yeah.
watching a recent
All right.
Redford movie. Maybe this is his response. He's like, Spy Game's not a real movie. This is a real espionage movie. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Son of a bitch. That makes way more sense.
Well, yeah, sure.
Had any of you guys seen this one before? I hadn't seen this one before.
No.
Certainly not, sir.
High level on this it was a fucking terrible movie. But like I found myself laughing a bunch at how terrible it was. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And the cast is incredible. Like, I don't know. There's a lot here. And nothing at the same time.
Yeah, right. Totally.
I imagine you guys probably feel the same way. It was something.
Yeah, it's
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see. If this was supposed to be some sort of James Bond American something, as I don't know who said that. I might have read it somewhere, or maybe one of you, Chad, said it. I have no idea, but no way.
The presence
no,
of Lazenby, I think.
I mean, Lazenby is
But,
kind of...
yeah.
I guess, but it's just, I'm trying to do this without saying the movie's fucking terrible.
Why, God? Why would you avoid the obvious?
I don't know. I don't know if that's possible to do. It's pretty dreadful, I mean, it's definitely humorous. And it's kind of a weird mashup of like 3 different movies, and I'll get into that later. I'll just leave it at that. It's just a terrible mess. I don't know why they tried to like make a thing with John Stamos. I don't know. He just doesn't seem right.
This is
on
his debut.
top of everything else that's a mess, dude,
I mean, once
Is
you
it?
pull out one thread, you know, the whole thing unravels, really.
I
And
agree.
Why
It's like
any of it?
Yeah. It's a
That's it.
Jenga tower, totally.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
That's reasonable.
But with that being said,
fair.
I enjoy the living shit out of it.
Yeah, I
It was
know,
pretty
right?
fucking ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's great.
I laughed extremely hard. It's just I have a hard time believing that they were going for something serious here.
Yeah.
I
That's
really have
fair.
a hard time
Come
believing they
on.
were. It's almost like a movie that was made like on a dare or something. you
Yep.
know?
Or if they were trying to be serious, there was a lot of drugs.
Maybe that could
Or
be
both.
Cocaine is a powerful drug, and there was certainly a lot of
There had to
abuse
have been
in
some.
the 80s. Not from Gene Simmons, though. 'Cause
That's
he's
true,
famously
actually. He's
drug-free.
anti-drug. That's true. Touche.
totally
Well,
true.
then, based on that rationale alone, I think you're dead on here, man. Like, if there were not drugs involved, it had to have been somewhat intentional.
I
Yeah. I think
feel
so.
like they did it on purpose. It was
I
not.
th-
It
I
was
think
not
they were-
tongue in cheek. None of that.
So wait, it was on purpose funny, or it was on purpose?
No,
bad,
they were trying to
or-
be serious. Yeah, they were trying to make
They
it
were trying to be
serious.
serious.
Yes, definitely, dude. No, you can tell. Like
You think so?
when you talk about like we had this discussion about like Roadhouse is a B movie. What's a B movie? Like a couple of weeks ago, and like this is a freaking terrible movie, man. I mean, this is like
fucking
a
F
C
movie.
Yeah, this is like a C level movie.
I
It's
think I
terrible.
probably like this better than Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse, though.
Did you watch Jake
I haven't
Gyllenhaal
seen it
Roadhouse?
yet. I haven't
I
watched
did.
it yet.
Nice. Yeah, I cannot imagine it's. I could see how this would be more charming than a modern day like remakey movie, though. Like yeah, I could buy that.
Mhm.
I like Jake Gyllenhaal and all, and he was decent in it. But I think just the whole premise of whatever. We'll get into that down the road. But
Yeah, we will, because we're gonna do that.
anyways, this movie is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I love how, despite the fact like Gene Simmons has disowned this movie and
Totally.
would ask that anybody who might
Not
be able
watch
to
it.
see it not watch it.
Yep.
But it's clear to me that he had such a fucking good time
Dude.
making this.
Yeah.
No doubt. Like he fucking really committed to it, man.
He committed to
Oh,
it, but
dude.
also brought there was a sense of humor to it, I think. So I don't know.
I agree, but he took it very serious, man. He put his all into it, and I really appreciated that.
He
He
gave
did.
it everything.
He did. And he clearly was having a good time with it. There's no question. Like, you
Wait a
could see it.
second.
It was evident.
Carruthers is Ragnar. What?
Dude, that was the best reveal
What? Did anybody else smell something off in Denmark when we
I saw his
this,
fake beard and was like, that's really
was like,
bad beardy.
That's Gene Simmons as a ginger with a fake beard and a
Oh
wig.
my god, that hair was terrible, dude. I didn't even pick up on it right away. I didn't, because I sort of rewatched the beginning today, and
I'm sorry.
like he was in the tunnel with George Lazenby, and I didn't even realize that was quote Carruthers. Then when he comes, when he shows up
double-crosses him.
later in like the office, and he's like, "Well, we gotta take this guy out." I was like, "Oh, there's Carruthers. Oh, that's Ragnar."
But that went over my head, unfortunately, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Terrible wig. Terrible
Was
terrible fake
and
beard.
a terrible fake beard.
Terrible fake beard. Really bad.
So good.
I think like the 11, not an 11Z's monologue high level, but a topic for discussion that continues the high level is just how nothing or what the fuck the plot was. Like it was the most convoluted story I've ever fucking seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my god. I
a
still
bunch
am
of
not
weird
really
crackhead Hell's Angels from Mad Max are trying to poison a water supply for no reason whatsoever.
For just for
dude's
the
like
fun of it.
King of the bikers, but he's also a hermaphrodite, and a gymnastics kid saves the day and like just fucking goes on a machine gun murdering spree at the age of 17.
and turns into a spy midway through the movie. And
It's
we
just
get
so
that
good.
song.
That song
Stargrove
is possibly the worst.
Run into a danger zone. So good.
The
Come on.
Stargrove song, opening credits, Stargrove, 80s opening credits that are like 7 hours long, and all it is Stamos doing fucking flips on a trampoline. Like, my God, man.
My God.
That was
Wait, but
absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
I was like listening to the song, and I was like, what are these lyrics? And then I was like, she's saying Stargrove? And I was like, wait, isn't that the name of the guy in the movie? And I was like, it is. And I was like, I can't
It
believe
is.
they made a song about the guy in the movie, dude.
Of
My
that
favorite
quality.
line is, yes, that quality, exactly. And then my favorite line in the song is what I already sang, which is Star Grove, run into a danger zone. And then when she does it again in the next verse, she really puts some freaking soul behind it, you know?
She gets into it.
Star Grove, run into a danger zone.
I thought it was I thought for a
So
moment
bad.
it might have been a Vanity song, like Vanity was
No,
singing the song,
no,
but it
no,
isn't. They got another person
not.
to sing the fucking song.
She weirdly stayed out of the music in this movie.
Yeah, right.
I love how we've done like almost all of the Vanity movies at this stage.
That's great.
We just got to do Last Dragon, which is a fucking good movie. Well, it isn't, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie, man.
It's so bad.
Yeah, that's a great story.
I think we talked about this before, but like, it's such a bummer, dude, because she's a good performer, man. She's a good entertainer, dude. No, I was bummed out she never got to do anything that really had some.
She sounded
Some
like she
meat in
was
it, man.
off her fucking
You know?
rocker, dude. There was an interview with Stamos.
Oh, well, maybe I'm
where he
wrong.
was saying that there was a cast meet and greet dinner where they all met each other, and she stuck his hand down his pants. She stuck her hand down his pants and was just like going for it. He was like 20 or whatever, and said she was fucking wild. And he's like, I don't want to talk smack because she's all like Jesus-y now, but she was wild. So I don't know.
Maybe she really was on heroin.
She's
You
all
never
like
know.
dead now.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
She passed
Yeah.
away.
She's hanging out with the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah. I hope she's doing better than I don't know. I mean, the Crypt Keeper is pretty cool.
He's cool, man. I'd hang out with the Crypt Keeper.
I mean, it might be cooler to hang out with somebody else that's dead, like maybe even Prince, because like they used to.
That's
be
true.
Partners and all, but
That's true.
I mean, maybe the Crypt Keeper's in there too. Who knows?
Speaking of Prince, I don't know why I have all these vanity nuggets, but Prince tried to get her to have her stage name be Vagina, and she was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go with Vanity." I just thought that was pretty good. Of course, Prince
I
would
think
push for
that
that.
was a wise move on her part.
I think it was probably a
She
good
can't be
idea.
that crazy. She can't be that crazy.
So yeah, Vanity, man, that was something. Fuck me, that her coming on to him, seeing in the deck of that house was just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm on Benny's motorcycle here, Kev. Like, I don't know how you can hose Vanity down and have her do the striptease thing with him eating those apples and think that they were taking this seriously. Like, it's pretty. That's pretty serious stuff.
I
right
disagree. I don't. You couldn't come to it any other way. It's so utterly retarded. You know? No, it really is. It's like she's doing that hose thing, and it's like it instantaneously becomes really weird and really awkward. Like, you realize that it's just a garden hose, and she's having trouble manipulating the garden hose, and that is where the line between sexy and unsexy, it kind
Yeah,
of
like smacking her on the
collide.
side of
And-
the face kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was really, really bad. And the oil rubbing wasn't, I mean, like, it was just so weird. Like, she went up and kissed him, and then he was like, no. And then she, like, strips her clothes off and just, like, lays down to get some sun. And you're like, okay, all right, that's sort of normal. But, like, then, like, the oil comes out, and you're just like, what? And then he's the apples. And
Dude, it just keeps going. It's like half a movie.
why?
The stuff she was doing was awkward enough, but his reactions to the stuff she was doing was
With his
the
like
real,
helmet hair flopping around. He's got like that horse kind of head move.
Wow, is this really happening? I better go change. I'm going to go change.
Because you get some
Okay,
fresh
I
fruit.
changed. This is still happening. I'm going to go get an apple. I'm going to go get an apple. I'm going to eat an apple.
You need a whole apple.
I don't know.
I'm going to get another apple.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible, man.
I
Terribly
mean, it's like
fucking hilarious.
it's not far off from like the Hot Shots part. Like
That's
scene where
dead,
he, like,
dead on.
fries like an egg on her stomach and all that stuff. So if they were going for 100% serious, they like missed the mark by a large
margin. Yeah.
That said, though, like to just kind of like have a foot on each motorcycle seat going down the road like Jean-Claude Van Damme, I will give you that that John Stamos with his apples is how a 17-year-old boy would react to that scene. He's like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like it's a reasonably accurate portrayal of just how dumb the things in your brain are when you're, a kid and some girls kind of got the hots for you. The actual scene is ridiculous and not at all realistic, but.
Was he in college or in like private school?
Oh, college.
I think he was a senior in high school.
Well, I thought so too, but then I was like, well, they're riding bikes to class. They got computers in their rooms. Homie's making a flame laser. Oh, wait, what is it called? I wrote it down. The fire laser. But
Flame
it's
Master?
not the fire laser. It's the fire blazer.
God.
Hold on.
God.
No, it's
Before we
okay.
get, hold on.
Let it happen, Kev. Just let it happen. Just let it happen.
No, well, I was going to give you some perspective on this movie, man. Whatever. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, I just looked up the Never Too Young to Die Stargrove theme, and I found it, but it's really just a clip of the movie. And it's a couple of interesting things to note, considering we're talking about how terrible this movie is. The person that posted this, okay, it says the name of the person or the account is Jin Ha's Movie Collection Laserdisc VHS DVD. So
all right.
Somebody actually bought this movie on either Laserdisc, VHS, or DVD, which is astounding to me. And then I noticed the first comment, which says, who's still bumping this in 2019? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Next comment, the song is amazing. And then as I go to
Dude, I imagine you would totally bump this song.
This guy wrote, I'm a straight dude, but this song makes me want to toss Stargrove's salad. That's the end of my...
That's reasonable.
There's no accounting for taste in the YouTube comments section.
No, and it is a Greek salad, so like it's fair enough.
Dude, that's so good.
I definitely, Kev, could see you rolling up with the windows down with this track on just because. And people just being like, what the fuck, man? And you're like, dude, Never Too Young to Die? Come on. And just crickets, and you would enjoy the shit out of it.
It wouldn't matter because I'd be singing it at the top of my lungs.
That's it.
Running in a danger zone.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. I feel this is like Kung Fury's spirit animal, like
dude, 100%.
Yeah. There's definitely some DNA in there.
Astute comment.
Yeah, I think maybe they were going for something serious at this point, but it was the 80s, and they were like, how far can we like crank up the parameters of like an 80s, I don't know, action flick before it becomes too ridiculous to actually come across as anything other than comedy.
Oh man.
And that's sort of what you end up with here. But I mean, then you also just make some very questionable decisions about music and cast and
everything.
Everything really. And you just
for a moment there, I wanted to be like, "In music by the Casio audio accompaniment algorithm."
There you go.
The music was so fucking terrible in this movie, dude. It was just like they pushed the button on the keyboard and pretended they knew how to play piano. It was so fucking retarded.
Except for the original.
Except for the awesome track that Kev bumps and is now in his repertoire.
Stargrove. I'm still bumping it in 2019, bro. I'm bumping it like it's 2019. Yo. Do we want to follow any kind of structure here, or just kind of
let's mirror the movie and just go be all over the fucking place?
This one is worth like a quasi play-by-play because it's just.
I would be interested to know if you can play-by-play this. I honestly don't think I could tell you what scene happened after what scene here. Like it was. That
I got
messy.
A solid page and a third of notes. So
let's dig into it. Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we already talked about the opening theme song, dude. I cannot Lance, let's just start with the name of this guy. Lance Stargrove. It's the worst. It's the worst trying to be a power name. You know what I mean? Like, it's the worst instance of let's make a power name for this strong lead character who's going to turn into a super spy halfway through the movie when he discovers that there's a secret chamber under the bed.
Right. With autographed
just think
photos
that's
of JFK.
Yeah, it's a terrible, right? Totally. It's a terrible name, dude. And like, I don't understand. And this is where my confusion began. Like, I get that Ragnar is like the leader. I get that he's weird, he, she, whatever. And I don't understand what they're not bikers. Like,
They're tweaker bikers.
they're more than bikers. They're more than tweakers. Like, I wrote down
They're
that
just straight
this
up Mad Max.
movie-
They get teleported out of Mad Max.
No. I feel like this movie is a Go
They
ahead.
put fake horse heads on their dirt bikes.
I loved that.
Yeah,
shit,
I know.
dude.
That's what I'm saying, dude. So like I feel like this movie is a combination of Weird Science, Mad Max,
the
and
Tina Turner
Dragnet.
Mad Max. Yeah, and Dragnet. Yes. Yep.
And Dragnet.
And
Like,
Rocky Horror Picture
it's-
Show a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll
You're
throw that in
making
there
my
too.
case
So,
for me. Like, these are all the sliders that these are all the sliders they turned all the way up, and they're like, yeah, it's going to be amazing. And then
Keep going.
No.
right? Like the guys, the bikers are not exactly bikers. They're more than bikers, but they're not quite wasteland Mad Max.
No.
Sort of people. They're and then that kind of brings them.
They are.
Right, they're
yeah.
almost mutants. Like the guys in Weird Science that come break into the party, like those guys are mutants. They're not quite those guys, but like just a little click below that, but not quite at the level of like we're living in the desert like Mad Max. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
right off the bang, that took a lot of brain power for me to try to figure out what exactly we were dealing with here. The vehicles were just bananas. Like in another movie, they would have been sweet. And if I was 10 and I saw this movie, I would have been like, dude, fucking dune buggies are sick.
No doubt. And the unicorn motorcycle.
You would have. Right? And the motorcycles, like Benny said, with the horse heads. Yeah, dude, the horse heads and
But
like
the way they
all
just
that
like
weird shit.
the way they introduce the horse heads, is like the dude rolls up to the bar and the horse head just kind of like comes into the frame, and you're like, what the fuck? And he orders the motor oil and the beer, and it's old school motor oil with the fucking thing in the front of it. Like, oh man,
It's
dude.
another motor oil drinker, like the guy in
Motor
what
oil
was
and a
that?
beer, which might be better than Vanity's choice of a Bloody Mary and a cigar.
Right?
But this
Bloody
guy
Mary and a
clearly was
cigar.
related to the guy or hung out with the guy from Over the Top who also drank motor oil.
It was a double elimination tournament, of course.
This is a double elimination movie. This is a single elimination movie, dude. It got eliminated.
Okay, we can bring in the guy from Over the Top if we bring in the cyborg dude from the Stallone Judge Dredd movie with the dial on his head.
I almost brought that up a minute ago, dude. Let's get him, Paul,
Wait,
because that totally
what's that?
there's a sprinkle of that.
Oh yeah, you brought that up.
We talked
last
about
week,
him last
dude.
week. Yeah, he was in
When you're
That's
talking
funny.
Spy
about,
Game? Or he was
no,
he was Danglars in
Monte
Count of
Cristo.
Monte Cristo.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
There was
that
a bit of that.
my,
There was a bit of Stallone dread.
yeah.
Stallone could have done Stargrove, man.
Oh, dude.
Yo, I'm Stargrove.
I'd love to see like a 40-year-old Stallone pretend to be a gymnastics student in high school. Like I would be all about that.
I would have given anything to just see him have one half of a conversation with George Lazenby in this movie and try to be fucking serious.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
Right?
There's so much. There's just so much here.
Okay, so I was setting up the what we're dealing
He's
with
going.
here, and they hang out at like a like it's weird because it's like I feel like they're trying to blow the dam up, but like they live or hang out or their base or their whatever is
the
right
Dragnet spot.
on the it's the Dragnet
Yes.
spot, but it's like on the next hill right next to the dam. I was like,
yeah,
what?
totally.
It's so weird, man. So I found that extremely strange. And then
It's pretty funny.
immediately it's funny too, but then we immediately cut to finding out that Lance is also a world-class gymnast.
And then it's that classic 80s intro of the quote-unquote hero, and he's fucking doing his somersaults on the mat or whatever. Like, thanks, coach, you know, I gotta go to trick class, coach. And those two dudes are like, why don't you do something manly like wrestling?
How about a man's sport, Stargrove,
God,
wrestling?
It totally fits that like 80s bullshit where, you know, the nerdy girl with unkempt hair and glasses takes her glasses off and she's the hottest chick in this whole school kind of thing.
God,
like those ridiculous
totally.
80s movies. They could have totally just gone
man.
that way, but and it went James Bond Jr. instead.
Sure. So disappointing.
So all over the place.
So kind of, I'm gonna kind of this kind of rolls in chronologically here, but do you know what the best part of this movie is? Either of you.
I mean, Ragnar being the ginger dude in the helicopter is pretty fucking good, but no, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, there's
Benny,
a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot to choose from here, man.
Fair enough, and I know that you enjoyed this movie. What do you know? What the best part of this movie is? I would think
I don't know
anybody
what
would
you're
know.
going to say. I'll put it that way.
Okay. All right. The best part of this movie is what's coming next, which is Peter Kwong, who we know as Rain, one of
Big
the
Trouble.
elementals from Big Trouble in Little China. And he also he got to play like Robert Englund really plays the Dr. Bleep Bloop character in this movie, but
Yes.
Peter Kwong plays the sort of the nerdy
Data meets
sidekick.
Q from James Bond.
Yes, exactly.
He plays
Let me.
so the stereotypical nerdy Asian guy who
And he's like,
inventor.
I mean, it's just kind of sticking with Asians. He's kind of like a combination between Ick from Real Genius and Data from Goonies, right? You know what I mean? And immediately he's helping him cheat using
the Casio watch,
Seiko digital watch, dude.
Seiko.
Which just I love that, man, because I'm all about like 80s digital watches, right?
Dude,
so
Seikos
he's helping
are
him
just-
cheat. Yeah, dude, right? And they don't make Seiko digitals anymore. And I wish that Seiko would make digitals, and it's a shame because they're freaking awesome, man. So he's helping him cheat on his math exam or whatever with his Seiko watch, which is like totally impossible, dude, right? And then we get the introduction of what I thought he said, "Here, I made a fire laser." And I was like, dude, a fire laser, that's sweet. But later on, he called it the fire blazer. But it turns out it's a combination between a flamethrower and a laser gun, dude. And that is the best part of this movie, dude. Peter
that's
Kwong
fair.
and that thing.
It's the fire blazer.
Sometimes
it just keeps
kind
coming
of
back.
explodes or it doesn't work, and other times it just like lays waste to everything in front of it. Like,
That's
Dude,
it.
I love it.
And it just comes back over and over and over again. And I know I'm fucking jumping to the end here, but he throws
It's all right. It's all right.
he throws the briefcase in the air and then throws the fire blazer at it. And it like smacks into it and explodes. Like that was fucking incredible, man. Like you
It
can't
was
even
great.
make that shit up.
yeah, man,
No, it was great.
at the fucking briefcase.
How are we gonna end this thing? It's like, well, what if he throws it and then he throws the other one at it and it blows up? And they're like, yeah, that seems plausible. Let's do that.
Dude, dynamite idea. Yes. 100%.
Oh my lord.
Yes, that was good. And I think the other thing too about this like the fire blazer and Peter Kwong, like the weapon should be in like our sort of
No doubt.
when you
The pantheon.
when you press the button in the bunker in Valverde, dude, and the wall spins around to reveal our weapons of choice. You've got
This is
the
one of them.
Uzi with the giant scope from freaking Escape from New York.
New
You've
York,
got
yeah,
an
of course.
entire live tiger with a scope on its back, a la Beastmaster and what Chad loves most about it.
I forgot about the cat with the scope.
Yeah, and then you got to have the fire blazer in there, dude, and some other weapons as well.
She had a pretty legit handgun with a scope at the end there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. I don't know if you caught this or not, just sitting on weapons for a second. before I realized that Carruthers was with George Lazenby in the tunnels in the beginning, you see that he has, and like I couldn't even believe this. He had a holster for his, little Uzi or Mac 10 or whatever that little sort of machine pistol was that he had.
I don't recall.
Yeah, it was. I was like,
9.
wow, I didn't even know. Like that was kind of like Bruce Campbell's holster for the repeater that he had at the end of Army of Darkness, but like that's intentionally funny. This is like trying to be cool, and it's so stupid,
So dumb.
It's like, why would you make a holster for a freaking Uzi or any weapon that has a clip that long? It just makes no sense.
When you're making your Arnie's pizza, you need a place to hold the Uzi while you're putting the pepperoni on there.
Yeah, and the 9mm.
And the 9mm bullets.
With the 9mm bullets.
Totally.
That's
dude.
why.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I loved how they put the C4 on the wall and he stuck that ridiculous little thing with the light in it. And then the whole thing just fell off.
I was like, oh, shit.
So stupid,
I better go fix
dude. Yeah, right?
Again,
that was
little
so
moments like that make me think they weren't taking it all that seriously.
That's fair, man.
But I'm split right down the middle of like whether this was serious or not.
Willing to go either way on that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm still unsure. Yeah,
you might even say it's a hermaphrodite of a movie. It's half schlocky and half good.
It is an intersex Hollywood smash.
I love that made it in here, man. Can we just briefly talk Ragnar? Because
anything, dude. Whatever.
The willingness to just have the ridiculous, no pun intended, balls to have fucking Ragnar is just the most fucking ridiculous character.
In his song, where it's like it takes a man like me to be a woman like me, or something.
It's so fucking ridiculous. Like definitely going for the Frankenfurter kind of Rocky Horror thing a little bit there, but
definitely,
sure.
It's something, man. It is something.
And he does it with aplomb, dude. He's really he's throwing 100 in there, and we're getting that 100 back, and like in a great performance.
They're like, well, how can we make Ragnar like terrifying and scary? It's like, let's give him a razor blade coke nail that he sticks in your jugular.
Oh, dude, yes. Is that what it was?
Yes, I think.
Because I couldn't
give me the finger, Ragnar, not the finger.
Right, but I could. The problem with that opening scene was like they start talking about the finger, and then I didn't really see the finger, so I was like,
well, he does it like 8 more times. About? The only thing that is seen more than the finger is the flame blaster or whatever.
Hold on.
I mean, that might be another weapon for the Pantheon,
Oh yeah, this is like a broken nail hanging on like a little thing.
No, dude. Well, look, I mean the weapons locker in Valverde has 2 sections. One for projectile weapons and one for bladed weapons.
Yeah,
and in the bladed weapons section, as you know, we've already got brought to you by Knives Chow Monthly Magazine. We've got Son of Knife of Cobra, and all these various different
actual
great knives.
Knife of Cobra.
Actual Knife of Cobra, Son of Knife of Cobra,
the Glaive,
that freaking the Glaive, that dope ass axe that Nick Cage wields in Mandy. I mean, I could go on, but the fingernail would definitely be in there, dude. No question.
It would be there. It would have to be.
Not the finger.
I mean,
so stupid.
Again, I don't know how that was passed off as serious.
I'm with you, man. I don't know how you can possibly.
I'll tell you how, because when I watch Gene Simmons doing all that shit, Ben, he is fucking committed, dude. That's how I know that it's serious, man. Because he is committed, dude. I mean, my God.
Aren't you the one that always says, like...
Yeah, I might be.
Like, aren't you the one that always says, if you're going to do comedy, you got to play it straight?
Yeah, but there's a difference. And just to reference
man.
I'm
with you.
I know you
I
are.
just,
I know you are.
I'm not sure. I'm still really not sure. I'm not.
Okay, and fair enough, and
sure.
that's something that needs to be explored for sure. And I think that just to to take a look at Dragnet for a quick second, which I referenced this movie, kind of parts of it remind me of Dragnet.
No doubt.
Yeah, very much so.
Dan Aykroyd is playing it straight in that movie, like legit straight. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And Pep is goofy. You know what I mean? This, I don't know, dude. This feels like everybody's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it, man." And then
It's a hill to die on.
We didn't do it.
I feel like it was like a bunch of people showed up for a coke payday, except for Gene Simmons, who was trying to bootstrap his film career.
That's it.
It was like either before or after Runaway. I don't know. And like as far as I know, that's like where his career begins and ends. But I don't know if I would judge the seriousness of the movie based on like his giving it 110%, because
That's fair.
I'm not sure anybody else had the same level of commitment.
I think you're dead
Most
right
definitely.
there, man. Like,
Definitely
no one
not.
else did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I mean, Vanity was pretty committed to that garden hose. Like, she really did lay it all on the line there.
I mean, yeah, yep.
Like, I kind of mean that she was in it to win it. Like, the scene where she like rides that horse at Mach 3 into the barn and then strips down, and she's got the
Right?
machine gun and the bra, and she's like running around, and she like beats up the giant dude, the Japanese fucking fruit fly or whatever that guy says. Like,
Wait,
she
what?
really does go for it.
That's so not what happened, dude. She rides it. Yeah, she rode in at 100 miles an hour, and then she's taking care of the horse. And the guy that I guess the guy's name is Warp Face, because that's what she called him.
Same.
Sure.
He just shows up. And that's the other weird thing about the mutants, or whatever the biker mutant people, is that they're all wielding, in addition to the weird vehicles, they're all wielding like morning stars and shit. You know what I mean?
But like shitty ones they got at like Kmart at a Halloween sale,
Yes.
you know? Like
no,
really
they,
shitty
you know, they
axes
got
and
them
stuff.
in the back of Knives Chow Monthly.
They
like,
did,
you
yeah.
know, actual morning star. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you know, like they're all wielding those types of weapons, man. And that guy,
You got him in the back of a comic book right next to the build it yourself hovercraft.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
and the sea monkeys, exactly, dude. Right, and but then she jumps up on the table. I was like, why is she jumping up on this table, dude? It's like the guy's just got like a morning star, and then she presses her hand against the wall,
And it flips around, dude. Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on here, man? Then, yes.
And she
ripped
says how crazy
shirt,
she
the
is.
bra.
Like, I'm a bit unhinged. And she's going to, pushes his face
I'm
in the
not in the
horseshoe.
mood, and I'm unhinged.
It's
I just stuck my hand down John Stamos' pants.
Right? Like, fuck me, does she give it everything. Like, I don't think she's at the same level as Gene Simmons' commitment here, but she's pretty committed, you know? Like, props to Vanity for being ridiculous.
Sure. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I really do.
And the mutants are kind of committed, too. But
The mutants were definitely committed, dude.
Especially the head mutant dude with like the like jacked
warp
up
face?
Prince dude with the
the
headband.
fruit fly
you know,
dude,
like
yeah.
Yeah. That's warp. That's warp face, dude.
And it was a very Indiana Jones moment there at the end where, you know, Stamos comes up with the worst schoolyard insults ever, calling him a fruit fly.
Oh my god.
And goads him into a fight, and then just he grabs a fucking M16 and just pops him and like everybody else. Like, just the 17-year-old kid just like murdering dozens of people with a M16 is just
Yeah. I mean,
fucking ridiculous.
It's fucking Reagan era 80s shit, man.
It is just some serious shit.
Did you just skip to the end when he is like standing in the crowd
Yes.
at
Yeah.
the Dragnet place, and he's like, "Why don't you fight me like a real man?"
Right? Like, what are you talking about, man?
I know, but
Vandy's
then he grabs an
"Don't do
M16
it,
and just shoots a
no."
guy. And then he
They're
just
gonna
turns
kill
around and
you.
starts shooting he starts shooting everybody. That's not the amazing part. The amazing part is that these biker mutants who like make weird noises and like clearly haven't showered in months.
Eat drugs
Nobody
out of
has a
muffin
gun.
tins.
He's the only guy that has a gun, dude, in that entire scene. It's like, what? Really?
But that's not even the most ridiculous part. The most ridiculous part is the random helicopter that comes over and they're like,
Oh, and the guy with the
Commando
M60.
Force, activate. Just start shooting
Right?
everybody.
Oh, my God. Did you notice the M60 in the helicopter was just, like, there was a crude rope.
Like a shoelace.
Yeah, it was a shoelace, dude. And that's what he was using to brace the gun. There was no real mount. I was like, that is so low rent, man.
And the
Not
guy,
sure.
they were like, you need to shake more when you're shooting this fake gun to make it look like you're shooting the gun. He was just like, oh.
Yes. Well said, old boy.
I don't know. Like, so many of the scenes were like, and action. And the guys, it's just like people are just running around all over the place. It's completely discombobulated while a helicopter flies around with a shoestring machine
Oh, it
gun.
was
Like,
absolute chaos.
fucking
totally.
pandemonium. Jeep driving up and down the hill over and over again. Like, it was.
And like the
who
way
does
that I know, and a lot of like the way a lot of the guns are fired, especially by Stamos, but I noticed it with some of the other people too. Is like they did that kind of classic like
that? Off
'80s
the
thing,
hip kind of thing?
kind of what you would do when you were a kid playing War in the Woods. Is that they would just go like this? They'd be like,
Yeah. Back and forth.
which I just found so funny. It's so stupid.
It really was the.
Oh my God.
It's funny that you should say that because I feel like there's something there. It's like this is the movie version of like 6 kids in the woods playing guns. Be like, oh, I'm gonna be Ragnar, our hermaphroditic cult leader, drug dealer. You know what I mean? And you just go with it. You're like, okay, Timmy, like if that's your thing, man, I'll be a gymnast.
I'm Stargrove. No, I'm Stargrove.
My
No,
dad
we
is
agreed.
a secret agent.
I
I'm
would
a
be
gymnast.
Stargrove.
I feel like the entirety of Hollywood was like, you know, continually bombarded by bad ideas from like all of these different people, and
Yes.
they're like, how do we deal with these people? Because they just keep bothering us, and they're like, oh, I know, we'll just sick them all on a movie, together.
That's legit. That's good. That
And
is
they were
good.
just, you know, we'll give them a giant budget, and then when it fails, they'll just all have to be like, they'll have to admit that they
didn't
were
work,
wrong.
guys. Sorry.
They'll all just go away.
I love how this is Lazenby's Cannonball Run. Like Roger Moore in Cannonball Run has his Bond cameo, and Lazenby's got his Bond cameo in this fucking turd burger.
Oh,
my
man,
God.
yeah.
How did they get him?
He wasn't like
too good.
I mean,
Yeah, I guess he didn't really have much else going on, but
he's not. Yeah, he's not Roger Moore, dude.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
No.
there was a doc on Hulu that I saved. I don't know. I never watched it, but it was about him, and it was about how he was like a used car salesman in Australia, and like all of a sudden he was James Bond. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he, I don't think he was a real actor.
no.
I mean, Her Majesty's Secret Service is a decent Bond flick, but
It's definitely decent, dude. And the chick has the most ridiculous name in that movie.
a lot of vagina.
Plenty
I mean,
O'Toole.
it's plenty of
I mean, come on. Like,
Come on, dude. Plenty O'Toole. So stupid, dude.
it's so good.
I mean, he's walking around going, yes,
I
plenty.
mean, yeah. Is it
But he's
worse
not
than-
Sean
than
Connery,
Pussy Galore?
obviously.
I mean,
Pussy
I
Galore's
mean,
pretty
they're
iconic.
they're right up there. It's like that, Plenty O'Toole, and a lot of vagina from Austin Powers. Like, it's a tie. I don't know. They're so
Boucher.
ridiculous.
I mean, it's
Yes,
Connery
Bushy.
saying Pussy Galore, too.
bushy.
And saying it in that ridiculous, like, he was so serious the way he would say it.
My favorite from that is bushy. I didn't know you knew judo.
I just like when he goes, why, yes, Bushy. And he just, because he's Sean Connery, he doesn't say pussy. He says pushy.
Push it.
So great.
I just love that they wanted this to be a launch pad for a Bond Jr. series. This is like as much of a launch pad
Cocaine
as
Dreams, baby.
Yeah, that's it. This is as much of a spy launch pad as Bruno the fucking Kid, man. Like,
right?
How you could possibly think that you would ever be allowed to spend a single dollar again after making this movie? Like, there is no world. There is no world where anybody would let you touch another movie after this.
What's the plot? Wait, you
are
hired
not,
who?
Yeah, right. Wait, you wrote an original song for this? Do you know how expensive that is?
Oh my
Stargrove!
So funny. Stargrove, running in a danger zone.
It just takes all the stuff. We watched. What was the one with the fake Asian kung fu master that we watched? Where he hugs a log for the last action sequence.
What? God, what's his name?
Stupid ass movie we did. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
No, it's a death
Remo
that I can't
Williams?
remember.
Remo.
Yes.
Remo. Yeah, that's a death. But like,
it's a death that I can't remember. That.
You don't.
That's a log for the last
I mean, he does. He fucking.
What is he laughing at?
That he hugs a log for the last 20 minutes. He's just hanging off a log in the sky.
Totally.
That's the only thing I remember.
You don't remember Joel Grey saying,
It doesn't go on for 20 minutes, but I mean, it
300
feels like it
times?
does.
It does. It feels like it.
It does. They just keep cutting to the zip line with the log, and it's like he's still on it, and it's like still going. We're still driving, still going. We're still driving. It's Captain Janeway, right? Captain Janeway was in it.
No, oh yeah, she
Yes.
was too.
Yeah, Kate Mulgrew,
Yes.
dude.
Like
Kate
this is
Mulgrew.
just as. I mean, this is more ridiculous than Remo, but not by much. Like.
Dude, well, yeah, in premise, but somehow that
The
movie,
Execution
like,
was
yeah,
slightly
Remo
more believable
is,
in Remo.
yeah, it's like Remo's good. It's it's Fred Ward and Joel Grey and
Fucking Brimley.
Yeah.
bro, Brimley.
Okay, Same
In one of
with
his few-
Escape from New York. Like, I mean, the premise is pretty wild. The execution is clearly better, but there's plenty of weird ass shit out there. This one just was a bit of a swing and a miss,
This one was the inmates are running the prison. Like it's
Yeah.
I feel like it's on the tip of my brain, like what this movie is like in terms of its shittiness, like another movie, and I can't think of it because like even Ice Pirates, like the Ice Pirates,
Yeah.
the budget
delightful.
is just as shitty. It's so crappy, but it's just so great and so
So much
funny,
fun.
dude. And it's like it is fun, and they're just like having a good time, and yeah, titties and all that great thing with a robot. Like it's just awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I don't know. This is just bad everything.
This is the kind of movie that would have the Mystery Science Theater robots in front of making fun of, whereas Ice Pirates is not that, like
Exactly.
this is a movie you make fun of. Ice Pirates is a movie that you laugh along with. It's laughing at you versus laughing with you. I think that's
and along a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I think Never Too Young to Die is kind of like almost a perfect definition of so bad it's good.
Sure.
Because it's just like it is hilarious and super entertaining, but it's not at all what they were going for. It must have not have been what they were going for. So like
Yeah.
I think it's kind of
Yeah.
that.
Because in Ice
It's in that
Pirates,
territory.
I feel like they knew that they were making dumb shit, and that's kind of part of the charm. And there's still a glimmer of this, maybe yes, maybe no.
Yeah, it's like a B grade Mel Brooks movie or something. Like
Yeah,
Ice
sure.
Pirates,
Like
where,
a C grade Mel Brooks movie, bro. Yeah.
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 Terrible.
Fucking John Stamos, guys. Uncle Jesse's in this movie. Like, enough said. Like, DeCascos should have been Stargrove.
DeCascos?
Dude, DeCascos would have killed it as Lance Stargrove.
What are you talking about, Mark DeCascos?
The only
Only,
Dacascos.
only the strong. Only the strong.
The only Dacascos that matters in the world.
The only Dacascos that matters, dude.
He would have shown us
Banana
the banana
way, banana way, banana way.
I'm gonna have to confess to a death because I was like,
Oh.
"Who the fuck are you talking about?" And then,
Oh, that's all
and then
right. I
was
mean,
like,
that's a bit. It's digging a little deep.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna.
You don't get enough deaths, so we'll give it to you. But you probably didn't deserve a death there.
whatever, man.
Whatever.
Not
man, that's
remembering
just-
Remo Williams. That's different.
Yeah, that's
dude.
not
That's-
remember Remo is pretty bad.
That's a
That and how I described the movie.
Okay, so what next? Where do we? Where
You
do
got
we want to go
55
next?
pages of notes, dude. Let's hear them.
I only have really 1 1/3, and I've already burned through many of those.
All right. Well, Robert Englund was really fun. You
Well, we
mentioned
talked.
he was
Okay,
the
so we talked
bleeper
about
blooper.
the Dr. Bleep Bloop is anybody that in that role is now called Dr. Bleep Bloop, and he
Fair
plays
enough.
Dr. Bleep Bloop in this movie. So we just there's not enough of him, man. You know,
There
we really
isn't
only
enough
get
of him.
like a couple of scenes at the end, and he's great because he's Robert Englund, man. You know, but you know he's like,
Yeah.
oh, you can see right
He's
here, this is
worshiping Ragnar.
running
This is
underneath
my radio
the sewer.
signal.
It's like
And
he wrote
Ragnar's
to
like,
Reed Faber.
ooh, yeah, ooh, can you give me another one in purple and map 2? And he's like, yes, I'll do it right away. Very bleep bloopy.
Very
Very,
bleep bloopy.
Dr. Bleep Bloop. But, you know, that's it. I mean,
We're going to turn the population into evil mutants
It's the
via
most
the water
fucking
supply
cockamamie scheme in the world.
because it's fun.
I want to make 80s movies like this. Just crap.
I think
you know?
the more that we dig into this, the more it is spirit animal for Kung Fury, dude. Like,
Definitely, dude.
Yeah, it's almost like ahead of its time.
it kind of is. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the fentanyl of 80s movies, you know, like heroin, you know, it's like the one that's like even like 2 little grains of salt size and you OD on the shit. Like,
You just OD on the shit, yeah. It's like they were trying to parody 80s movies, but they hadn't gotten out of the 80s yet.
that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's pretty good.
hmm There's like no one else in the cast. There's only like 5 people in this movie.
I feel like they end up out in the middle of nowhere at some point, and they're like, "Oh,
In the
we're
LA
gonna
hills,
go,"
and he's chasing him on the motorcycle. Can we talk about the Can we talk about the time that Stamos is chasing Vanity on the motorcycle, and the 2 mutants come up and like tickle fight him?
Yes,
And then like she pulls over and she's like, "Get in the car!" And then they had to ADR like, "But my bike," because it made no sense that he would just leave his motorcycle in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like there was just so much shit that I love
yeah.
in that
Wait,
scene.
you mean his dirt bike?
Yeah,
no, wait, the
he
dirt bike got
borrows he
destroyed.
It
borrows
wasn't even
Cliff's
his
bike.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
It was the Cliff's bike, yeah.
He borrows Peter Kwong's Suzuki.
He's like, "Cliff, let me borrow your bike. You're probably never going to see it again." And then just fucking takes off and leaves it on the side of the road after tickle fighting with 2 Mad Max dudes.
I know. And
then,
then later, the military guy's like, "Hey, you want me to take this down to the motor pool?" And I'm taking a look at it. And he's like, "No." He's like, my bike is
very
custom
particular
built
bike.
with its own custom modifications. I better look at it myself.
Yeah, which tweaks Ginger Jesus into being like, "There's something about that bike."
Ginger Jesus. Yeah, there's a secret compartment specially constructed to hold
For a 3.5
whatever,
inch
yeah,
floppy
whatever
disk.
MacGuffin is going on in the. And what did they call the disc, dude? It was
The
like
MX
'cause
disc,
They kept
the ZX disc or something.
no. He kept saying it like Warp Face when he confronts Vanity in the barn. He's like, "Give us the RA car" or something like that. I was like, what is he saying? I could not figure that out for the life of me, dude.
Yeah, I just love that there's a 3.5 inch floppy disk on display as like the MacGuffin.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's the shit you would keep a computer program on back in the day.
Hey, what? Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot more of notes wise, dude. Like, you know, we kind of touched on the escape scene. We just talked about Dr. Bleep Bloop.
Can we go back to the biker bar for a moment? Because I just loved how they were like, It's a biker bar, but people ride the bikes in the bar. Everyone's like riding around to the bar and from the bar on their horse head and unicorn motorcycles.
On their horse head, yeah, exactly. That's why you get a quart of oil while you're there, because you just
Oh, right, that part. Okay,
you could add some oil to your bike.
I gotcha. Get a quart of oil and a brew.
When you said it a moment ago, Kev, with the 9-year-old, pretending to fight in the woods, like this is like a 9-year-old fighting in the woods fever dream, man.
Like, yeah, and it's a biker bar, and they have the bikes inside the bar, and you can recharge your bike while you drink your beer.
They ride their motorcycles inside the bar.
And then outside the bar, there's like sick jumps, and you could like jump off of the bar.
Sweet jumps.
And chase it. And then next to the cars, there'll be dude buggies everywhere. And then outside, there'll be barrels on fire, and inside there'll be musicians playing rock and roll music. And you're like, okay, man.
And you'll have an M16, but I will have an MP5.
It's just too good, dude. And the guy that fucking bike jacks him, the big dude who's like drinking MGD or whatever. This is my bike now. Blows up.
I don't.
He's the he's in the cast. His name is Exploding Biker in the cast. I love it.
Nice. That's quite a character name.
That memorable character, Exploding Biker.
Exploding Biker 1.
You might know me as the Exploding Biker in Never Too Young to Die.
I don't. For some reason, I'm blanking on that whole biker bar scene.
It's all right. You're probably merging or something.
Well, I mean, there is the cross-dressing Gene Simmons burlesque show song musical number. That's it's quite special.
Yes, that I remember. And as one of the very few nuggets about this movie, there should be more nuggets about this movie, but there's not. Apparently, Gene Simmons, that band is a real transvestite band, and they were kind enough to give Gene Simmons pointers to make his character more real. As a transvestite. So I thought that was
makes sense.
Cool. Terrific.
Talk about being committed. Oh, it's so great.
Your eyes may not believe what they see. Oh, yeah.
And the Simmons tongue came out a few times. The pointy tongue sucking thing came out a few times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the tongue totally like some chick is just like and he like digs his like giant like fingernail claws into her and starts just licking her head like an ice cream cone,
licking her face.
Poor Vanity had to go for that tongue at the end there. That was pretty gross.
Yeah, that whole end scene was just an absolute chaotic mess.
We probably should like, I don't have much more bitsing and bobsing. Like, I feel like the end scene of the dam is like, I win! He's like running down the thing.
Yeah.
Haven't you ever seen a spy novel? You can't turn this off once you turn it on.
There's the whole end in my opinion, the whole end sequence begins with the reveal, the Ragnar reveal.
Yeah.
Or the Ragnar, whatever his name is, Ragnar reveal, right? Because they're in the helicopter, and she's like, "We gotta get Ragnar," and he's like, "It's a funny thing about Ragnar. I am Ragnar." And he starts pulling off the beard and pulling up. Oh my god, dude, so terrible, dude. And then he takes them to the compound, which is just, a couple of 100 yards away from the dam that they're trying to blow up, and then it's just, we get the whole Stamos, hey, I'm, fight me one-on-one like a man, and then he shoots the dude, and then it's just total chaos, man.
But I thought you were saying the Stamos at the dam where they're having a fight, and he's hanging on for dear life, and he's like, "You're so beautiful."
Dude, I wrote my note there was, "Oh, you found my one weakness." Compliments, because like he tells him he's beautiful. He's like, "Oh," like he's so taken back by it.
And then fucking Jim Cotta's the guy over the dam, like grabs his fucking head with his legs and flips him.
I know, and there's a massive missed opportunity in that part, dude, because his motorcycle falls off the dam. And it's like, dude, what? No explosion? Did you run out of money at that point in the movie, dude? Because
Probably
that is a
did.
perfect opportunity for a 10
For a mega gas
ton.
explosion.
Yes, gas explosion. Thank you. And they did it was
the cocaine budget to
Yeah, fair.
on that.
That's fair.
yeah, the coke went out, dude. What are you gonna do?
They did have barrels flying into the air explosions.
have an explosion, or we can get another 10 8-balls. What do you want?
I'm
Definitely
gonna go with
the
those 8-balls. Yeah.
And that's it. That's never too old to die young.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right, yeah. There you go. Never too young to die. Technicolor,
We
man.
don't have to.
I kind of feel like this one's worth a watch just because how shit it is.
I
but
would
it's also kind of not.
I would recommend it. I would recommend anybody watch it. It's literally free on YouTube. It's on Tubi for free right now, which I got some
I watched
nice
it on
wanking
Tubi.
going when I saw that. Yeah, and it's you got to watch it, man. I will say, well, we can sort of the one thing we didn't touch on was like the whole part where he transforms.
You gonna drag us back into this?
I'm sorry, just for like one quick thing is when he transforms, right? You know that's what I'm talking about. He's in the house, and Milky or whatever the guy's name was, and the other guy come in, and they just are kicking his ass, dude. I mean, they are kicking the shit out of him, dude. They got him on the ground, they're just kicking him.
Stamos.
Yeah, Stamos, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like he's laying there, and he's like, and then it's like his eyes
Yeah, I am
pop
immortal.
open, and he does like a full-on John Lawrence from Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
Like
Launch
from
off the
being
ground.
in a prone
Flip.
position. Yeah, flipping back
Yeah.
up onto your feet. And then he just kicks the shit out of all of those dudes, man.
Totally.
Then he finds he's like sees the coin and the glowing thing on the floor, and then he puts it in there, and he finds the secret compartment and all the John F. Kennedy signed photographs.
dude.
So good. Anyway,
Yeah.
that part was just it was
that,
really
it's like,
weird. Right? And the fighting scenes were just
And they go running off at the end. They're like, sorry. And they jump in their dune buggy.
yeah. Well, and there's also like
we're just like,
Let's get out of here, man. They're going to kill us.
yeah, right. Well, I think too. Like the other thing too is that this is like a sort of an example of this debate we've been having throughout the course of this episode. Like, what is this movie trying to be funny? Is it trying to be serious? What? Like that fight
Again.
scene. Like there's some good moves in that fight scene, right? It's just it's so badly done.
Okay.
It is. There are. Like he does some cool stuff, like some acrobatic stuff and some flipping and shit like that. But it's just so poorly shot. It's so poorly done, dude. That it just looks terrible, dude. It just looks terrible.
The scene where the
It's
dude's like,
fucking
make him
terrible.
bleed, Billy, and he's like smashing him against the sink. The fucking plates just
Totally.
over and over and over again.
Yeah, just like ramming his head into the plate. Totally.
Basically
It's
put him in the
great.
garbage
Back and
disposal
forth, back
bin.
and forth. It was awesome. Oh, it was so funny. I forgot about that.
Well, it's the same at the end, like
pretty funny.
where he wakes up and he becomes the immortal fucking superhero. And then at the end, he saves the day by throwing the fucking flame giver at the briefcase. And he, can I borrow a car? He's like, yeah, man, take your pick. And he picks the dune buggy and they drive off and do a donut and come. He's like, later, baby, to Vanity.
Yeah.
He goes out and does a donut. Comes back and he's like, get in the
He
car.
comes back, he's
But it's even weirder than that. It's right because it's even weirder than that because then they actually went to the trouble of putting a shot in there showing them driving through like literal
Like the
wild
bushland.
country, right?
Yeah.
Like the bushland. And then they show them turn around, and then all of a sudden we get they cut back to the little wrap up area, and they pull in, and they're like, "Yeah, we're just getting around."
We're in love now. Come to my high school prom.
It's the end of the movie, so we're naturally in love now, right? Exactly. And the guy, the old guy who we kept denying that his dad was a secret
Yeah.
agent or whatever. You know, he was like
With the other
he
military
does
guy.
I mean, he's so tropey,
They're like,
dude. He
that
comes up and
cheeky
well,
monkey, that cheeky guy and his heroes and
You
know,
Stargrove.
Stargrove, we
that
might
cheeky
have
guy.
from time to time a situation that might come up that might warrant you, you and your skills. And he's like trying to do like an Arnold at the end of Commando and failing
He's got
miserably at
the
it,
we're
you
dealing
know?
with
He's
an
like,
expert kind of thing going on.
Who,
bit.
the old guy or
The
Stamos?
old guy's like the other military man's like, cheeky fucker, and he's like, we're dealing with an expert. It's just stupid as shit in the fucking world, and I love it.
Yeah, so all that happened.
So all that happened. I just love the idea of the kid being a senior in high school, super spy with the, girl that's like 8 years older than him is also a fucking assassin, like, taking her to fucking prom or whatever.
Yeah, and I think it just kind of overall, there's just so many things that are just utterly unclear in this movie, right? Like,
that is an under fucking statement, my friend. There is nothing that is clear about this movie.
yeah. Okay, so is that it? Are we wrapping it up?
I don't know, man. They should make a sequel because why not?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, not a
And
sequel.
get Stamos back? Come on.
How many years later would this be? 30, 40 years
I
later?
don't know, but he could be the old man now and like, I don't know, get somebody
Oh, my
even younger.
God.
And Timmy Chalamet.
No. Yes. With his 20 something dude walk, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
with his 110
God.
pound soaking
Please.
wet walk.
Totally. That's so good. So are we do you have any nuggets?
I got nothing.
Gene Simmons had to shave and wax his chest for his role as Velvet von Ragnar. That's it.
Gene Simmons had some good nugs.
Yeah, deaths. Let's talk about deaths. I only got one death. And that would be my I can't remember the name.
There actually was I actually did end up with a delightful death in there, but I was I said it while you guys were talking, so you wouldn't have heard it.
I got that. I'm writing that down now.
I'm not just mining for deaths. There was one.
Okay, all right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that honesty. Yeah, I can't remember Remo Williams' death, and then you're delightfully dead. And
The Remo Williams death was a death, and then Benny had one. He mentioned one.
Yeah,
You're not going to give it to him.
You're not awarding it
well,
to me.
you didn't.
Okay.
You didn't want to award it to him.
No, I said we should, just because he doesn't die very often.
And it was that he couldn't remember the name of
Who cares?
who.
Who
was the name of that
cares?
character? Who was the name of that character you couldn't remember?
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember.
Holy shit! Wow, what a bunch of blowouts we are. Okay.
There was kind of a nugget where Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman went tits up, no pun intended, and then she got a variety show. Linda Carter got a variety show, and she did an opening montage, the opening of her variety show, where she sang Rock and Roll Fantasy into a Kiss song with Kiss on stage, and she wore a costume that Ragnar's costume is based on. It was just this really weird kind of meta nugget. I'll send it to you here. Hang on,
That is weird.
I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, hang on, I'll send it to you. But like, it's exactly Ragnar's costume, and I thought that she wore this after
totally is.
this movie, but it turns out that this was the year before or something.
God, dude, what
Gene Simmons
in the
just
hell
stole the costume.
is that?
Yeah. Well, the costume people did or whatever, but
Is that actual Kiss?
so that was kind of random. Because believe it or not, there's not a lot of information in the internet about this fucking turd nugget of a movie. Speaking of turd nuggets, dude, what was the opening line from Gene Simmons? He's up and he's like, "Hey, turd balls, let's do some drugs, turd balls." It's like, what the fuck? The dialogue in this is just too good.
And later, he kind of gives out drugs, a la very the Pagan Brotherhood from Dragnet, dude. You know,
So there was some serious Dragnet connective tissue, man.
tissue, yeah.
Tissue,
It was,
yeah.
I know.
When was
It was
Dragnet?
weird.
Because like Dragnet had to.
Dude,
lift
Dragnet
from
came
this
out
on
the
purpose.
next year. Dragnet was
no shit.
87.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I got that right. It's 87,
Yeah, you
and this
did.
was, and this was 86.
Oh man, because I could have
think.
seen them like taking the piss out of this movie by stealing some of it for Dragnet, but that's crazy. They were probably being made at the same time.
Dude, Dragnet is so good, and it was so
Dragnet's
good when
like
we
600
rewatched
times
it.
better than this movie.
Yes.
It was so good when we rewatched it, and I was so pleasantly surprised at how funny it still was. Like,
Totally.
I want to watch it again tonight. Like, that's
totally,
how
man.
great it was. That was one of my like favorite surprise shows that we did, where I wasn't sure how the movie was going to be.
That was a really good one.
Hold on a sec. I just let this Winter Carter video play out for a second. That's not Kiss.
Yeah,
Is it
no,
not?
it's
Oh,
not
okay.
right. I watched
No.
like most of it.
There's
It's
guys
Kiss.
dressed like Kiss. That's like
But
the
they're too
Kiss
skinny.
makeup, but they're just dancers. Yeah.
But they have like 80s
not
Coke
Kiss.
dancer bodies, bro. They're super
Oh
skinny.
yeah, you're right.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
They're
I wasn't
dancers.
paying
Yeah.
much attention to it.
Coke dancers. Yep.
Well, either way,
Coke.
it's a great little
Anyways,
ridiculous
It's
80s
still ridiculous.
ridiculousness.
So bad.
I like how your show sucks so bad they cancel it and you go on to do this. You know, it's like they give you a variety
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
There should be more variety shows these days.
We need one, man.
Because everything sucks.
Speaking of talk shows, should we talk about Conan on Hot Ones?
I mean, yeah, go ahead. I don't really get that whole thing as an aside. Like what about that is so interesting that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think that's part of why. I don't know. Benny, how did you vibe with it at all, or you don't give a fuck, or what? I mean, I know you're a Conan fan, but
I'm a Conan fan and I'm a Hot Ones fan. So, I mean, I don't, what's not to like?
that's it. I think for me, like, if you have seen a bunch of Hot Ones, I think it's way better. If you haven't seen any Hot Ones, it's still pretty good. But like, he just fucking owned Hot Ones. Like
Yes.
he created the best episode of Hot Ones ever. He
Mhm.
fucking ruled the show. He essentially took over as host of the show and like just hit a grand slam home run. Didn't give a shit about the hot sauce. Was just like pouring it down his throat. Like, if you've seen any other Hot Ones, people like fucking die
I have,
by the end of it, man.
Yeah.
Like, there are people that are like snot bubbling and weepy at the end of this, and he just doesn't give a fuck. And it was a tour de force.
And you're kind of like, I was kind of expecting him to like back out like halfway,
Yeah. But he just
So, I think
he just
that's-
went
yeah.
for it, man. And then like it got meta too, where he was like talking about show business. It's like you gotta put on a show. And then he did. He put on a fucking show. Like, it was just really, I don't know. There's something about it that was just I fell in love with Conan all over again with it's just his masterful smashing of hot sauce. It was really
sounds
good.
like a review for his show, dude. I fell in
I don't know,
love
it
with
was
him
good.
all over again.
It was good. I
love
do.
it.
Like, he's just such a
Yeah,
legend.
I don't.
man.
I know he is.
It was one for the ages.
It was.
There's a couple episodes of Hot Ones that are big, and like there's this one, and the other one that's popping out of my head is like when Paul Rudd did it.
Sure.
Like he
Yeah.
he
I
was
saw
another one
that.
that's sort
That
of
was that was funny.
Yeah. So I think, this is just like another one of those like epic ones that just sort of, I mean, Eric Andre was like smashing plates over his head. Like, I don't know. There's just some that were like
Yeah.
ridiculous, and
Gordon
this was one
Ramsay.
of those.
I saw the Gordon one too. Yeah,
Gordon Ramsay chickened out.
I don't like. I mean, I hate to like pee in everybody's Cheerios, but I don't find that show that interesting. I've tried to like love it and get into it, and I watched The Rudd, I watched Ramsey, I kind of watched ones that I like had guests that I was interested in, but I don't know. It's not that I don't find it that interesting. I don't find like the conversation is always that interesting. Like, it was pretty funny when Paul Rudd did it, and it was interesting to watch Gordon do it, but like, I don't know. I don't find it that interesting. It doesn't hold me that I keep going back to it and being like, oh, hey, look at that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever. Sorry.
I've watched enough of them where it pops up in my algorithm on YouTube sometimes, and
Sure.
I'm like, oh, I like that person, and I'll just watch it, I've probably watched, I don't know, like a third of them or something over the years, but there's so many
Yeah.
of them too,
I don't watch everyone. I watch when there's somebody that I'm interested
Yeah.
in, but I find that the double whammy of like catching people off. Like he asks great questions. You know what I mean? Like he does his research. The team does their research and they ask great questions, and like the double team of that with like people being caught off guard with like the hot sauce and like kind of like answering while they're like trying to deal with that. Like it breaks down the bullshit. So you kind of actually end up with like a great interview, you know,
or
like
at least a more real interview. Yeah, at the very least. So that's the appeal in my.
All right, I'm gonna go back and watch it again based on what you just said, because I've actually found the opposite. I'm like, like watching people eat hot food. Just like I'm kind of over that. Like I kind of got over that with watching Man versus Food. You know, it's just like, okay, whatever. It's 8 million zillion Scoville units. Like you're gonna burn your face off. Like who cares? I don't find that interesting. But and then like I didn't.
I get that.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
I don't know. That's the point, though.
I get what you're saying, though. So, like, I'm just saying where I was coming from before was like that part. It's like I don't really give a fuck about people watching people eat hot food and freak out. Like, and then the other part was like, well, okay, at least the saving grace here might be that, like, you know, this guy is interesting or is funny or whatever. Like, I never found it to be that interesting, and I never found the questions to be that interesting. But based on what you just said, I'm going to go back and watch it again because well, whatever, you're you, and I'm down with what you just said. So I'll give it another shot.
Watch some random ones. The number of times the number of times the guest has been like, "Dude, how the fuck did you find out about that?" Sean Evans,
exactly.
You know, like. So,
I've seen that happen
all the time.
I've watched enough of them to see that happen. Yeah, for
and
sure.
It's not that it's in the interesting. I think that the key is that it's not necessarily an interesting question for the viewer, but it's an interesting question for the interviewee. Where like they just spend all fucking day every day getting asked the same 5 stupid fucking questions by stupid fucking journalists. That I feel like the combination of the well-researched question, regardless of whether it's interesting to the viewer, and the hot sauce breaking through the kind of shields up stuff, you kind of get a more honest read on the person as a human. And I think that's the secret sauce, pun intended.
Yeah, no, I'm down. Oh, hey, pun intended. Yeah, no, I like that. I'm gonna give it
simultaneously kind of like the like meme stupid show, but also like has a level of depth that like your typical interview thing doesn't contain, you know. So I don't know. That's I've you know, I was in your camp at first, Kev, and then like the more
really
kind of got sucked into watching it, the more I was like, oh, well, there's something here.
There's something there. It's not fucking Shakespeare, but there's something there.
No,
but it doesn't have to be, dude. But I mean, you can have a simple show, and it's like, I mean, you know, if you're asking great questions, you're asking great questions. Period. And people are going to watch that. You know what I mean? So, that's why I'll give it another shot based on that.
And then on top of that too, like at the end of the Conan episode, like the Conan episode is like a meta episode, and at the end, he's very much in a fever dream because he just fucking did a shot of the bomb and is like melting inside but not showing it. And the dude asks him the question about finding good comedy, and he's like he hits a fucking home run with his answer, dude. Like he's like hallucinating and being so fucking eloquent at the same time. He's like, be well read, you know, read everything. Fucking Shoster's really good comedy, and you're just like, how the fuck is he pulling this out of his ass right now? And it's just, I don't know, there's just something about it that I just I was super impressed by the way that he handled himself there. And
I'm down with
psycho,
that.
You know? And he's the craziest dude ever.
He's also, you know, like you said, he's legendary, man. He's kind of just always occupied his own space. I find
clearly
he's like Rudd he's like Rudd or Ramsey. He's like a person that I would be like, oh, I'll watch that because it's him. You know what I mean? I mean, you're talking about the guy that was like, he was doing like the early Simpsons episodes. Those are my favorite. Man. You know what I mean? And like, then he did his talk show, and it was like, it was such this like under the radar thing that was happening with like all this drama with Letterman and all this bullshit with Johnny and Jay and all that crap was happening. He was just fucking cruising, dude, doing his show. And people like just kept watching it, more people watching it, and realized how freaking sharp he was and how funny he was, dude. And it's like, boom, you know, there you go. And you get to today, and the guy's just, legendary,
killing it.
100%.
And you get
Totally
those little
killing it.
cameos, you'd like show up on Space Ghost or whatever. Like I don't know. He was just
Yeah, I love
everywhere
that.
that I was,
Everywhere
Yeah,
you
it's great.
wanted to be, Chad.
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly. Like you just see him pop up, and it's just like I fucking love this guy.
Yeah,
This is
he's great
great.
like that, man. Yeah,
Just
I like that.
having Conan in my head, knowing we're going to talk about him tonight. Like I prepped by watching like I guess like maybe 7 years ago or whatever. Like he did like a couple of he covered a couple of the big Comic-Cons, and so like he did this one skit where it was like Batman wants to join the Avengers, which is, if you haven't watched it, it's fucking hysterical. It's like a star-studded cast, like doing like they're in like the lunchroom at like the Hero Hall or whatever, it's like the
Right,
school
sure.
lunchroom or whatever, and like he's hanging out
yeah.
with the fucking Justice League, and they're like lame, and like like Cyborg is like complaining about like the foods that he can't eat because he's a cyborg, Aquaman's like, yeah, so this is what a seahorse's penis looks like or whatever, and it's like these guys are lame. It's like looking over at the Avengers at their lunch table, and they're like laughing and having a great time. So like, like he goes over to try and sit down with them and like join them. I don't know, it's very funny. And then just like he did a couple episodes directly from Comic-Con where he had this like ridiculous like epic hero level suit made up where it's like it's not like it's a superhero suit. He has a cape, etc. But like he's like wearing the suit and the tie and everything. But it's got like the big fake muscles and the nipples and like the
Nice.
giant bulging crotch and all that shit.
He's like a City of Heroes version of him or whatever.
Yeah, and like a helmet
I like
that has like his hair, but it's like a super epic version of like his
fucking love it, dude.
pompadour. And like they show like
I
the
love
making of the suit, and then he comes out and like introduces the show in the suit, and he like just like walks out into the audience with this fucking shit, like I don't know how he was not laughing his face off, but he like walks out with like this most serious like superhero face, and like just like goes up to the nearest woman, like puts his like foot up on the chair and like sticks his crotch in her face, goes to the next one, like rubs his ass on someone, It's just, I highly recommend. I'll put it in the show notes. It's
And it
really
goes
fucking
without
funny.
saying, man. Like I think, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, Benny, but like I feel like the reason that he doesn't crack up is because he's a fucking pro, dude. Like he commits to the bit so hard that
Well,
he
that's
can
the
keep it
thing
together,
about that, man.
Like I
You used
have
to-
such
you-
a deep respect for how much of a fucking pro the dude is. Like he's just a pro.
And that topic in particular, man, like I was going to say the same thing. Like he doesn't, because he is a true entertainer and a true professional in the classic sense. And you don't see this a lot anymore. Like everybody is so into like people do shit because they know it's going to be on a blooper reel. It's like, dude,
sure.
that's not how it works, right? Like,
Yeah.
you'd only, like back in the day, you'd only get those blooper reels like by digging and digging and digging and digging and digging and digging, and it was like amazing to find something like that because all those actors were professionals, man, and they wouldn't crack up, And then it's like you get into SNL, like in the Will Ferrell, Jimmy Fallon years, dude. And it's just like everybody's just freaking cracking all the time, and it's like that's not how it's done, dude. Conan, that's how it's done, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not cracking up, not freaking breaking, dude. That's what being a real entertainer is, in my opinion. I was just watching
And
a video
that's what he
about
says too. And he says it here.
SNL crack
I think,
ups the other
that's the
day,
thing.
and I was like, this is just fucking annoying. I said it's annoying that they all do that, and it's annoying that Jimmy Fallon did that.
Yeah.
I just found that it's like you're just ruining it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
one
different
in
thing.
like 100 times it can be charming,
Dude,
but
one
most
in
of the time,
1,000,
that's
yes.
kind of
I'm
annoying,
with
yeah.
you 100%.
Especially when
dude.
it's Jimmy Fallon, because he did it every fucking time.
Dude, exactly. But then it just like became this contagious thing, and then like all of a sudden it's like everybody's doing it all the time. It's just like, dude, you're ruining everything. You're ruining the actual.
It turns it into a
and the
It
show.
turns it into WWE. Like it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a bunch of fake bullshit instead of committing.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
So that's why I want to talk about Conan.
So
I don't know. It really hit
that's
it
why,
hit me in the right spot.
No, I'm glad you brought it up, dude. And as much as like I watched half of the video one time, and I get the other significance of it. I think the guy said that he's been trying to get him on that show for like 3 years or 10 years or something crazy like that. So that makes it even more special. I get it. And Conan is, as we've said and as I just said, the guy's a pro and he's a legend, dude. End of story.
Yeah,
He's fucking hilarious, man. He's just
yeah.
I've brought up his podcast, Conan
many
O'Brien
times.
Needs a Friend, numerous times on the show, and I highly recommend it because it's just, it's great, and it's one of those ones where like you can listen to every episode if you really like Conan and his crew, or you can just tune in for a guest that you really like.
Yeah.
But it always is great, like even
Are you
when
still
don't
with
think
him
it's
all?
gonna
You
be-
still listen to a lot of them, or?
Like, for instance, Werner Herzog was on his podcast
hell yeah.
this year, and it was fucking great, and it was really funny, and you wouldn't expect Werner Herzog to be funny.
Fuck
so,
yeah.
I highly
No,
recommend
you
it.
wouldn't.
How much do you stay up with that one, Benny? Is it like every once in a while, or hasn't been in a while, or do you do them all, or what?
I tend to listen to them pretty regularly.
Yeah, cool.
I am a little selective. Like, there's just somebody that I'm not particularly interested in. That's a guest. I won't listen. But then, I have like been bored of like, or just been in a drought of like shit to listen to, and then ended up listening to
just
that
jump
one
in.
and been like, oh shit,
Yeah,
I should have
yeah.
listened to it. It was great, So it is. It's good.
Yeah, I want to get into
recommend the
it.
ones with Garth,
Oh,
Dana Carvey.
Dana
Dana
Carvey.
Carvey, yeah.
Listen to the ones with Dana Carvey. They're really funny.
All right, cool. Folks, so check out Hot Ones episode with Conan. It's excellent. I would definitely recommend this movie. It's a piece of shit, so watch it to either figure out whether you don't want to make movies for a living, or this is how not to make a movie, or to laugh or to cry, and that's it. That's my recommendation. What do you guys think?
Yeah, man, I think you said it well, Kev, where it's like, it's worth a watch. I think it's worth a watch just to see what you guys think about whether it's intentionally bad or not. Like, I
Right.
still haven't quite made up my mind there.
Yeah.
I think I'm on the it was taking itself seriously camp. Fuck, I don't know. It's worth checking out just because of how fucking bad it is. And a special fuck you to Nick Marr for recommending it. So shout out to Nick.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you got us, dude.
You got us, bro. I think you're
That's
so
it.
damn funny. Yeah.
I imagine you would align, Betty.
I recommend a watch. I think it's entertaining and hilarious. Whether it was trying to be either of those things, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it's like Schrodinger's movie. Is it really is it alive or is it dead? Like I don't know. It's a superposition. Like it's just
There you go.
yeah. Is it serious or is it a joke? I don't know. It's kind of both. So I
Wow.
think
I like how
think
you
it's-
kind of, yeah, I like how you just made that into like a quantum wrap up.
Hey, yeah, whatever.
There you go. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, or just to use the the trope, but
Little superposition, totally.
that's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
Man.
it is very much that. All right, good stuff. Chad, what are we doing next week?
The Creator. Next week we're doing The Creator.
That's it.
There you go. Next week we're doing The Creator. Folks, thanks for joining us for Never Too Young to Die, and we'll see you next week for The Creator. So long for now.
Thank you for joining us for never watching this movie again.
Never
guys.
too
Holy
young
shit.
to not see this movie.
Thank you. Yes. It's kind of like the movie version of Let's Make Nuggets Not Fun.
That's it.
Never watch this movie, ever.
Watch it once and then never again.
That's it. All right. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you'd like to check out the show notes for this episode, you can do so on your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/253. For those people that are new to the show that want to help support us, you can give us monetary support directly on Patreon, patreon.com/EBD podcast. You can also tell people to check out the show and leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify or wherever is clever. And as always, if you want to join us on social media, Instagram is the place that we hang out, the pond we hang out in, so you can join us there. We use the handle @EBD Podcast. And that's it. Thanks for joining us for this Drecky movie, and we'll see you next week for The Creator. So long for now, folks.
One for C-Lab, two for Troy Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady. Stop into it.
Stargrove. Going to the grocery store. I don't know why I thought of that.
Stargrove, gonna make some microwave popcorn.
Going to the grocery store, Stargrove. So I'm feeling like something with Hot Pockets, maybe. I can't put it together. Right?
Totally. Burned his mouth on the Hot Pocket.
Holy shit.
Okay, Stargrove, let's see that new routine. Come on. All right, more lift now. More lift. Good. Real tight.
Are you feeling like breaking
Let's see
out?
some height, Stargrove. All right, try it again.
Looking for
Come on.
danger.
More lift. Good.
Feeling adventurous, then you must put your trust not in a stranger. Playing your own game, do it your own way. Keeping your own sound that you found, going down, playing like you play. Who knows what you'll find? You may like it or not, but all that you find, boy, is all that you got. Stargrove, flying like you never flown. Stargrove, running to a danger zone. Stargrove, are you gonna stand alone? Stargrove, Stargrove. You feel like you're taking the world on your shoulders. You're just a Robin Hood, making good where you could. You're one of the soldiers, faster than lightning. Nothing can strike you. You got the good stuff, tough enough, stay rough. There's no one like you. Who knows what you'll find? You may like it or not, but all that you find, boy, is all that you got. Stargrove, flying like you never flown. Stargrove, running to a danger zone. Stargrove, are you gonna stand alone? Stargrove, Stargrove.
Oh, wait, Lance, that was great. A little better. Okay, you got it. Tom, let's work on that triple. Real tight.
Hang on. We're gonna knock it off, Coach. I have a test next period, all right?
Come on, Tom, form.
Why don't you try something a little more manly, Stargrove? Like wrestling. We can teach you.